Every rejection is a redirection, a quote that helped me immensely when I was not able to get a publisher for my now internationally trade published book, Strategic Storytelling. In today's Thank God It's a Story Saturday, I want to tell you the story of the author of this book, Zero to One, Peter Thiel, who tells about his experience of being rejected from a certain place. Now, let's listen to the story. So he says that my path was so tracked that my grade 8's yearbook had clearly, a friend of mine had written in it that I would actually be going to Stanford. And he says, of course, then the time came and I went to Stanford. Stanford is an Ivy League school, very, very difficult to get into. And he says, after I finished my undergrad degree in Stanford, I joined the Stanford Law School, where he worked even harder to win the batches of success. Now, the highest prize in a law student's world is unambiguous, he says. Out of tens of thousands of graduates each year, only a few dozen get a Supreme Court clerkship. So, that seems like the thing to get. So he says, I started working towards getting that Supreme Court clerkship. After clerking on a federal appeals court for a year, I was invited to interview for a clerkship for the Supreme Court. He said my meetings with the justices went well, and I was really hopeful that I was going to get this clerkship. But I did not get it. And I was so devastated. He says in 2004, after I had built and sold PayPal, you all must know what PayPal is. So Peter Thiel had actually built and sold PayPal. I ran into an old friend who had helped me write my Supreme Court clerkship application, the clerkship that he never got. And he says we hadn't spoken in nearly a decade. His first question wasn't, how are you doing? Or can you believe it's been so long? Instead, he grinned and he asked, so Peter, aren't you glad you didn't get the clerkship? With the benefit of hindsight, we both knew that winning the ultimate competition would have changed my life for the worse. Because if I had gotten that clerkship, I would have been, spent my entire career taking depositions or drafting other people's business deals instead of creating anything new. But because I did not get that clerkship, I went ahead to actually build and create this company called PayPal. It's hard to say how many things would have been different, but one thing is for sure, that the opportunity cost would have been really, really, enormous. And Peter Thiel, the author of this book, ends this paragraph by saying that all Rhodes scholars had a great future in their past. What he's really trying to say is that we get so hung up on the conventional path of success that sometimes it takes a rejection to redirect us to the better future that we have for ourselves. In 2026, if you experience a rejection from what you had dreamed always, please shift your focus from rejection to redirection. And if you do that, you would also, in hindsight, look back and think, thank God that rejection happened. I have personally experienced this several times. Stay storied, and I'll see you here next Saturday again with another story.